XRP is looking absolutely phenomenal right now, guys. We have an awesome chart setup going into the near future, and we also have to cover this very interesting tweet that is circulating around right now that is providing some information and some data points that could lead to XRP over 10xing in the very near future. And we're going to go over exactly how realistic or unrealistic this actually is by going through this equation and breaking it down for everybody. It's gaining a lot of traction. And again, as I always say, information is one of the most powerful edges that you can have in the market, and having the right and most accurate information allows you to go out and make better, more well-informed decisions in the market. So if you guys do enjoy the information and analysis I provide for you guys in these videos here, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you absolutely nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn. And again, guys, this is a really important one here. So let's try and get this video to 500 likes and share this with some of the other members of the XRP community, because again, we don't want anybody going into the market misinformed here. And again, if you never want to miss another video like this, make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on notifications so you're notified every single time these videos do go live. And again, for those of you guys that are traders right now, taking advantage of all of the insane amounts of volatility in the market here, again, Apex Trader Funding is having a wild 80% off sale on all of their prop accounts there. You guys can get millions of dollars in funding if you guys use code VIX down below there. Again, that sale is only lasting until the end of the month, so make sure you guys check that out before then. But just to kind of provide some context for what we're going to be going over here and why some of these tweets are starting to circulate, well, it's all stemming from this recent acquisition from Ripple here. So Ripple acquires prime broker Hidden Road for $125 billion in one of the largest deals in the digital asset space. This is a really, really solid and positive development for Ripple and XRP moving forward here. But again, as you kind of see in most cases, a lot of things are going to get twisted so that you guys kind of get baited for clicks and views and your hopes get up, and really that doesn't benefit anybody at the end of the day. Now, I don't want you guys to think that I'm coming out here and just kind of raining on everybody's parade here with XRP, because again, we are going to talk about the chart of XRP a little bit later in this video here, and it is looking very, very solid. You guys have seen how accurate I've been in the past here on these calls on XRP, so we're going to be breaking that down. But again, you got to make sure you keep your expectations in check, because again, like I said before, having the correct information allows you to make better, more well-informed decisions in the market. And just thinking about this logically here, if any business in the world had the ability to spend $125 billion and go out and buy a different business there, and that was going to immediately 10x the value of their current business, I really don't think that that is a very realistic expectation to be going in with. So looking at this tweet here, this is getting a lot of eyeballs, and a lot of people are completely misinterpreting what is going on in this calculation here. So Grok confirms that if XRPL captures 10% of Hidden Road's volume, the price of XRP will be $28.55 per token. Now, for all XRP holders out there right now, with XRP currently trading around $2.15, seeing and waking up to XRP being at over $28 would be absolutely insane. So let's break this down a little bit and kind of give you guys some more realistic expectations of what we could actually see with this new Hidden Road acquisition here, if XRP does, or XRPL does, end up handling a decent portion of all of these transactions that this prime broker is doing every single year. So this is really stemming from an economic equation called the quantity theory of money. Now, it doesn't really apply here, but even with that being said, let's just kind of break this down, because there's other glaring problems with what is going on here. So we all know, again, accurate right here, transaction volume of about 3 trillion. And then this velocity number right here is where things start to go left. So what this market cap is effectively showing us when they do this calculation is what would the market cap of XRP need to be in order for it to facilitate all of these transactions if the velocity is 10. So what actually is the velocity? Well, it's how many times each individual token would be used every single year in these transactions. Now, in order to find that price per XRP, you would then take that market cap of what you would need to have in XRP in order for it to facilitate these transactions, and then you divide it by the effective circulating supply, which right now is around 52.5 billion, and that gets you to this $5.71 price target there. Now, XRP is currently trading at about $2 and now 13 cents here. So going up to $5.71 would be an awesome development. The problem is that in the tweet up here, this is talking about if XRPL captures 10% of Hidden Road's volume, but nowhere in this calculation here does it actually account for XRPL handling only 10% of those transactions. When you look at the actual numbers right here, this is looking at if XRPL would handle 100% of these transactions here, if the velocity, how many times these tokens were circulated and used every single year, was 10. So then where are they getting this $28.55 target from? Well, in a bullish scenario, apply the sentiment-driven multiplier, which is honestly just an estimate. It's just a guess of what that would actually be, what the market would say that this type of transaction volume would dictate for investors coming in and buying more XRP. Taking that multiplier of 5, you get to $28.55. So what we really have to take away from this is that if, according to the numbers, XRPL were to handle not 10%, 100% of a lot of these transactions that Hidden Road is doing, that would effectively yield a $5.71 price target without any of these kind of nonsense sentiment-driven multipliers there. So as you guys have probably noticed, and I've said it a lot in these videos here, again, information is a very, very powerful edge, but misinformation can be a significant detriment to your portfolio in general here. Because again, we see this tweet right here getting 353,000 views right now. People are going to go out into the marketplace and make investment decisions based on information that is just completely inaccurate. And I don't like that. So again, I don't expect this video to get anywhere near that 353,000 views. But if I can just get through to a couple of you guys and maybe have you guys spread this information to some of the other groups that you're in so that everybody can approach the market from a more realistic perspective, that is exactly what I would like to happen here. Now, again, just thinking about XRP here too, I'm not saying that, oh, it's going to go down, it's going to be terrible. And again, we're going to talk about the chart right here too, and the short-term prospects for XRP, I would say, are very solid. Those of you guys that have been following me on Twitter, that have been watching some of the old XRP videos from the recent past, especially in this area here, we've called XRP very, very, very well over the last couple of months here, and we are setting up for another potentially significant move to the upside here. Is it going to be 10x? No, but these types of opportunities here are ones that you want to be able to take advantage of. So what do we see when we're looking at this chart here right now with XRP? Well, we've obviously been in a little bit of a downtrend. We did see that aggressive movement to the upside, retesting that $3 area on that strategic crypto reserve announcement at the beginning of March here. But we've just kind of faltered down to that 200 exponential moving average on the daily. But now we flip to the upside. We are consolidating right on top of this daily 10 exponential moving average. And that period of consolidation can easily lead to an explosive move to the upside if we can break above this $2.24, $2.25 area here. So what we would like to see is further periods of consolidation in here, form a little bit of a better range. And again, we have to understand the big picture of what's going on in this market. There is a lot of uncertainty, and especially as it relates to all of these new trade policies, the trade war, all these new tariffs. And that is bringing a lot of uncertainty into the market, and crypto in general is going to be labeled as a risk asset. So if the market is going to be deemed to be more risky than normal, well, the risk assets are not going to see as much capital flowing into them. But remember, typically with higher risk can come higher reward. Now, again, what we want to see out of XRP here is further consolidation right along this daily 10 exponential moving average, and then it break to the upside here. Now, if it ends up kind of chopping around and then breaking to the downside, well, that is not going to be an entry signal, and there would be no reason to then either add to XRP at that point there, or to initiate a position. Now, I know a lot of you guys are dollar cost averaging into this, and that is a completely different scenario than what I am talking about here. This is more for like a short-term trade, short-term movement to the upside. And if we do get that break to the upside there, we could easily see this come back up and test that 260 area. If it really gets going, you could see it back up to 3. If it holds there, you could easily see those recent highs. And then coming over here and taking a look at Bitcoin, again, we've been talking about that very, very key level right around 90,700 a lot. Remember, we broke down below there. You were going to then flip short-term bearish on Bitcoin. We saw a retest of that zone with the strategic crypto reserve announcement, and then all it's done is kind of chop around. But what I will say is that in relation to the broad market here, especially the NASDAQ, the S&P, Bitcoin has held up very, very well. And we've talked about this a lot in the past, that global M2 money supply chart. It is relatively likely that we do see some aggressive movement to the upside in Bitcoin over the next couple of months here. But we would really need to see this scenario where we jump back through this zone here, come down, retest, and then push to the upside, potentially going for those all-time highs. It is a possible scenario now that even if we get this break up, we could end up seeing a retest of this zone and then a sell-off very similar to what we saw on that strategic crypto reserve announcement. So you really want to see Bitcoin get really through 94,000 with a retest of this zone here in order to flip medium to long-term bullish on Bitcoin here. So that is going to wrap up this video here, guys. If you guys did enjoy the information and analysis that I provided for you guys in this one, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn and, again, have the most kind of up-to-date and accurate information going into the market every single day. And again, if you never want to miss another video like this, make sure you guys are subscribed, turn on notifications so you're notified every time these videos go live. But until next time, guys, I will see you. Peace.